So I totally get that the word consistency is a buzzword and it's being thrown around out there like a golden rule. The dangerous myth behind it is that consistency equals willpower and motivation, and that really isn't what it is. So here's what I think. I think it really is all about a lack of time, right? It's sometimes a lack of time plus a lack of energy because we're entrepreneurs that are doing a lot of things at one time, serving a lot of people. So according to the Independent Podcaster Report of 2025, 30% of podcasters list time commitment and burnout as their top challenge. So this proves that inconsistency with showing up is not a moral failure to you. It's really just a time issue. It's a timing issue. It's logistics. I know that if you're a new podcaster or you've been doing this for a little while, you realize that life is going to show up and sometimes we don't get things done as we hope we would. Okay, so that's just life, and let's plan for that. Let's put margin in our day for life to happen. It doesn't mean that you're not doing what you should be doing. It just means that life is showing up the way life sometimes does. Now, for me personally, I am running this business at Soul Podcasting Collective, and I'm also doing quite a few other things, such as teaching music. And as a piano teacher, I am helping my students learn how to play an instrument. I'm also working on my own personal hobbies and adventures. So I love music, I love songwriting, so I'm doing that on the side. And I'm running a couple of different brands and blogs that I'm really passionate about in the education world. And so while I'm running those podcasts and those brands and blogs, I'm also running this one. I have a high schooler who is going to be graduating very soon. And so I'm busy being a mama to her in her senior year of high school. I have a husband who's also in the military, so I'm working with him and we are together encouraging, promoting, and sustaining each other through this next chapter of our lives. So I have a busy home life and I have a very busy outside of the home life as well. But I'm also running this and showing up for you guys. And so I understand that things get busy and we can't always keep all the plates up in the air. So let's talk about how you can get on the microphone and just go and get it done. Because if you have a busy life, you don't have time to wait around and figure out how things are going to work. You have to be on it. So here's how I do it. I start with the anchor of purpose. Purpose is your anchor. If you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you have a purpose, you have a vision, and you have the aspirations to do the work. Now you just need to use that as your springboard to do all the things that you want to do. Purpose helps you figure out what to record, for whom you're recording, why your episodes matter, and also what's worth your time and what's not worth your time. So start with your purpose, figure that out, and I do have a workbook that can help you through that. So I'll leave a link to that in the description so that you can download a copy of my podcasting checklist and figure out what you need to do with purpose. Now, once you know your purpose and you're really solid on what you need to be doing, let's talk about what consistency actually means for a busy entrepreneur and a busy person. So here's what we're going to look at. This is not about posting every single week, okay? I have not been posting every week on every single one of my platforms, okay? So I'm not showing up on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts every single week. I just can't afford to do that and to be spread out in all these different areas. So what I'm asking you to do is look at not so much how much you're showing up, but how you can show up with the predictable routine and rhythm that works for you. You have to think about what's sustainable for you. Are you a busy mom? Are you a creative entrepreneur? Are you balancing multiple businesses? Maybe you work a full-time job and you're doing this podcasting thing on the side until you can build it up so that it's something that you've grown into an entity that you're happy with, right? But in this in-between, when you're juggling both, you have to know what your goals are and also what stage of life you're in and what you can handle right now. So think about what would be sustainable for you, for your routines. The sustainability is really all about how you want to show up and how often. So do you want to show up every week? Do you want to show up twice a week, 3 times a week? Do you want to be on camera? Do you want to be off camera? Your microphone does not have to be behind a camera. So if you don't want to be forward facing, you don't have to be. You can just be on your microphone, record that into your device, and that can be your podcasting routine. Figure out what routine works best for you. I'm all about supporting the solopreneur and helping you to figure out your routine that suits you best and that helps you to be able to manage your life plus your podcast without feeling overwhelmed and burnt out. So we do want to shift from rigid expectations to something that's more realistic for you. And sometimes that means taking breaks, which can help you in the long run. If you're running seasonal shows, maybe you need that little 1 or 2 or 3 month break in between so that you can regroup, maybe just a few weeks, maybe a month or 2. I don't know. The call is yours and you figure out how much time you need to regroup. But for some people, seasonal shows is what works for them. I don't run my shows that way, but I like to go all the way through, straight through. And I create my breaks by batching my content, recording them in advance, and taking a few weeks off because they're already scheduled to go. So the 3 pillars that we're going to go over once more is, what is your purpose? So you're going to figure out why you're creating the content. Who are you doing this for and why are you doing it? Number 2, what is your capacity? Ask yourself, what can I genuinely create month to month without burning out, without feeling like I'm overwhelmed? Number 3, what would my workflow look like? So think about your workflow. Think about how you're going to turn your ideas into podcast episodes seamlessly. It needs to be really a huge part of your life, integrated into your lifestyle. Repurposing content to avoid burnout is a really smart idea. And for those of you who have a lot going on in your life right now, repurposing is the best thing you can do. So if you are handling a YouTube channel, like I'm trying to grow mine right now, and you're also creating a podcast, you could essentially repurpose that podcast content onto your YouTube channel and have it in both places. Therefore, opening up the world of who you're able to reach online and sharing your message in more than one place. And so that's what I'm doing here on YouTube. I think it's just a really great way to not reinvent the wheel. And real quick, let's just talk about what makes you happy, because I can tell you what makes me happy. And in podcasting, even though I really enjoy interviewing my guests, I really love solo podcasting. It's just something that I love because I can freely come behind the microphone and share what's on my heart without having to schedule anything. They take more intentional energy because I do have to research and figure out what I want to say and make sure I'm presenting something that's of quality to my listener, but it's so worth it to me. I commit to solo episodes because they align with where I'm going and they bring me joy, not because there's any social pressure for me to do this. So when you're creating your podcast, what I want you to do is look at what makes you feel free and happy and supported in the work you're doing and do that. Choose the thing that feels good. There have been seasons on some of my podcast episodes where I have done a lot of interviews on my shows, and those were the seasons when I personally needed a break from just being on mic by myself. So look at how you're feeling. Do you feel like bringing other people on? Do you feel like talking by yourself and just sharing your heart? All of this, how you feel, what your purpose is, what your stage of life is, and what your goals are all going to come together to create this nice little package of what your podcasting world is going to look like for you. So my friend, community matters so much in podcasting, and I would love to hear from you. Please don't be a stranger. Don't hesitate to reach out to me here on this channel. Right underneath the description box, there is a comment section. Please comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your thoughts are and where you're headed with your podcasting, and I would love to be here to help you with that. Also, be sure to check the description box for the link to a free coffee chat, a few minutes of a nice, warm discussion about your podcast, and I'd love to sit and have coffee with you and we can talk. Thanks for being part of the Soul Podcasting community, and I'll see you in the next video.